Vancouver and British Columbia have been on my travel radar for quite a while, and still I was surprised by what we found during this incredible trip. Let me take you with us to British Columbia and share where we stayed, our favorite excursions, and other travel tips. Join us. We flew from the east coast of the US to Vancouver, which is just about 30 miles north of the US border, all the way on the west coast. And our first stop was Whistler. We stayed at the Hilton property, which is centrally located and right by the gondola. This village is the quintessential ski resort village with all kinds of hotels, restaurants, and activities to do. Whistler is known as a downhill mountain bike mecca in the summer months, and Nicholas and I were able to enjoy a great day of mountain biking. Alright guys, we're at Joffrey Provincial Park here in British Columbia, and we made the hike from the parking lot to the first lake and then even further to Middle Joffrey Lake, and I want to show you what it looks like. If you made the hike to all three lakes, it would be a round trip of 5.7 miles with over 1,200 feet of elevation gain. We decided to stop after the second lake because we had a busy day ahead. It was less than a 2-hour drive south from Whistler to Horseshoe Bay, where we took a ferry, including our car, over to Langdale. This area of British Columbia is known as the Sunshine Coast. It's known for picturesque beaches and villages, charming little towns and harbors. This area is known for its mild climate and temperate rainforest biome. Douglas fir trees in this area may be 300 to 400 years old. We stayed at the Rockwater Resort in Secret Cove, where you could choose from tent house suites or traditional accommodations. And this pathway would bring you through the forest to the tent house suites, with a great little restaurant. We were able to take a harbor boat ride where we saw seals lounging on the rocks, seaplanes, sailboats, and more. Later we did this hike to a waterfall, and the forest is absolutely beautiful, just emerald green with evergreen trees and moss, and the children really enjoyed it. Later we would make our way into the town of Sechelt, right on the coast, where we enjoyed this beach and a little bit of ice cream. This charming little spot is called Half Moon Bay, and it's a perfect example of what you'll find along the entire coastline. Here's a view from our accommodations of the coastline. It really was an incredible place. I could spend an entire summer right here. But before we knew it, we were getting back on the ferry and heading back to the mainland. This chart gave us an example of some of the wildlife we might see from the ferry. I can't say that we saw any whales. But we made our way back to Vancouver and enjoyed 3 nights in this beautiful city. I'd recommend this restaurant named Local in the Gastown neighborhood. And there is a remaining steam clock that still works to this day and is enjoyed by tourists. Vancouver is known for being a cosmopolitan city with a sophisticated vibe that also has an incredible access and proximity to the great outdoors. Vancouver also has a great culinary scene. This is where we chose to stay, at the Delta Hotel in downtown Vancouver. It felt like we had a little apartment here in this hotel. Great access to the Gastown neighborhood, restaurants, and general feel for the city. Also, we had parking on site. I wouldn't call this a budget-friendly accommodation, but it was perfect for us and very convenient. I would recommend visiting Earls Kitchen Bar. Great little scene in the Yaletown neighborhood. For dessert, we had artisan ice cream prepared with liquid nitrogen at a place called Mister. The ice cream sandwich was prepared with a torch. If you go to Jam Cafe for the best breakfast in Vancouver, you might find a line outside, but it's well worth it for this breakfast. make sure you visit Stanley Park while you're in Vancouver. You can ride a bike along the seawall, dine at one of the restaurants, take a train ride, or even visit the aquarium. There are roadways throughout the park, so you can choose to drive and stop off and explore along the way. They even have a couple beaches here in this park, and we stopped at Third Beach where the kids enjoyed a little bit of time in the water. In the afternoon, we took a water taxi over to Granville Island, where they have an incredible public market where you can go in and find just about any kind of food you want for lunch. Or even fresh ingredients to prepare a meal later. And we really enjoyed the view of the cityscape. Make sure that you check out Lynn Canyon Park, which is a perfect highlight of why Vancouver is so great. Just minutes north of Vancouver, you go to this park, which is a natural oasis. Beautiful gorge, suspension bridge, pretty little river and some swimming holes. The locals and tourists alike were enjoying this area. We continued to enjoy the culinary scene, and for breakfast we went to De Dutch, where we had some great Dutch pancakes. Later we skipped the expensive and crowded Capilano suspension bridge. We actually visited the Capilano River Hatchery. We got to learn about the salmon and the importance of this hatchery, but also we got to walk around the grounds, which were absolutely beautiful. Hundreds of acres of old growth trees, bridges across the canyon and over the river. It was really beautiful and time well spent. There's no fee for entry, so go and enjoy as much or as little time as you want in this great area and move on to your next activity. We also had a fun excursion on the Sky Ride, which brings you to the top of Grouse Mountain. This is a ski resort in the winter, but during the summer they have all kinds of activities once you reach the top. You can see and learn about the orphan grizzly bears, Grinder and Cola.
Is that one Grinder? I think that.
There's a lumberjack show, there are restaurants, there's zip lining available for an additional fee. A view to the southeast shows you Baker Mountain in the state of Washington, and a view to the south shows you the entire city of Vancouver. Before I knew it, it was time to get on the plane, head back to the East Coast. If you have any questions about planning a trip to Vancouver, make sure you drop a note down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. As always, guys, thanks for stopping by the channel, and we'll catch up with you on the next one.